Hey guys,
Hoorah!
welcome to
Hoorah.
another episode of TSB the Scuttlebutt. Today I'm super excited about this. We have the super ultra talented Gunny Wolf. How you doing, Gunny Wolf?
I'm doing great, man. I'm getting ready to
Hoorah,
grow
Gunny.
with you and everything.
Hey, thanks for joining us, man.
Of course. Thank you for being patient. A lot of ups and
Oh,
downs.
yeah,
Dude, you're busy. I mean, you're making awesome cartoons. You're putting smiles on people's faces, especially mine, because I love that President's Day one. That was awesome.
yeah.
You can't go wrong with bulldogs, man. You can't go wrong.
Nope.
Um, so hey, before we get started, I wanted to thank our supporters. We have a couple Patreon members. If you're interested, please. We appreciate your help. And so, not everybody knows this yet, but we turned this podcast into a nonprofit, and also have another podcast. It's called the Nosebleeds Report. That's a sports-based podcast. So all the money generated from this podcast goes into helping veterans in the area, and also I'm going to be doing some yard art where cut out of like Iwo Jima with the American flag. I'm gonna be putting yard art for veteran base around the area for our veterans. And for the nosebleeds report, I'll be happy to say I just wrote our first check for $250. So we are officially sponsoring a little
Yeah,
league team this year.
that's
Awesome.
nice, dude.
Yeah. So we got a lot of great things going on. Go ahead and check us out on Patreon, on our links and our social media. We appreciate your
And
help.
our big sponsor, Proven Valor Professionals.
Yes. Proven Valor is our major sponsor of the show. We really appreciate it. He's a great guy. One of our, we had both of those guys on as guests before. Gunny has a great story. You know, like he had the most Marine story ever. He was talking on the episode. And he was like, "Yeah, I got shot in the head, and it knocked me out." And he kept talking like it was no big deal. I was like, "Whoa, wait a second, back up. You got shot in the head?" He said, "Yeah, I woke up in the hospital." I was like, "Okay, hold up. Like, what's it like being shot in the head?" He was like, "It's no big deal." I was like, "That is literally the most Marine answer I've ever heard in my life."
And the funny thing is, Gunny, he got Purple Heart in the morning. I got my Purple Heart that night.
Yeah, the
Oh
same
man,
day.
yeah, there you go.
We belong to 3-8. Both of us were 3-8 India Company, and I love Gunny Sabins. Gunny, good job, and I love you, Gunny Wolf, because you guys stuck to it and you stayed in to make
Yeah.
Gunnery Sergeant, which is awesome. Because all you guys do is get us coffee and check our mail. That's it. That's all you guys do.
Isn't it supposed to be the other way around? Aren't you supposed to get him the coffee?
Yeah, I'm supposed to, but hey, Gunnies like their coffee, man. It's BAMS's, and Gunnies they are really good at the S in BAMS's. Supervise.
So is Gunny equally to a chief, a Navy chief? Or is it E7?
E7.
Okay.
Yeah, but in reality, we're admirals. Yeah, so don't let the leadership fool you, man.
Yeah,
Damn.
I hear you.
I can take over any ship, any fleet, any day. I'm all good.
Yeah, you look at he's a slow Marine, Commander. He's a slow Marine.
SWO?
SWO. I only know one Marine that got the slow pin, and he's not here right now, but he's in Kansas City with the big wigs in the VFW.
Oh yeah. So let's get Gunny Wolf's story here. So we usually like to start from the very beginning. Say you're like a teenager running around high school, raising hell. And so when did you know that you wanted to be a Marine?
Well,
and what year did you graduate? What year did you join the Marine Corps?
well, sure. So my story starts out, I was as a child. I come from a broken family.
Okay.
Mom and dad divorced. It was nuts. Mom put us in a wagon, took us across town in the middle of the night. And from there on, I was about 5 years old and my whole life exploded. I didn't know what was going on, right? So now jump back and forth between families, houses. I mean, we had all the love that was there on my mom's side. But ultimately, it came down to where I was on welfare for about 16 years.
Oh, damn.
So, we didn't have much. I mean, I was really good at hiding food stamps and going and buying all kinds of candy and whatever I wanted. So I ended up getting street smart. But during this whole time, whenever there was chaos around me, I would just draw. And that little world, whether I just closed the door and I was in a room by myself, it didn't matter where I was, I would just draw. And I always drew circles and cars, and I used tuna fish cans and coffee cans to make the wheels. And I was always just trying to get into that world so I didn't have to be in my reality, which was chaotic.
Yeah.
So fast forward, it was 10th grade. I'm doing good. I'm doing different pen and inks and different illustrations. And in high school, my friend said the commercial art school in Jefferson, Ohio, the vocational school, you can submit applications there if you want to go to the commercial art program. And I was like, what's that? So basically my friend was like, trust me, just submit your portfolio and see if you get in. So I submit my portfolio and I think nothing about it and I get in. So now I start the journey into like real art. Like everything else was just trying to get away from the world. And now, God put me in my purpose and I'm on my path. So here we are. I go to the vocational school and I meet my first leader, Mr. Smith. He was also a veteran, lost a leg, but he was really strict, super strict. And I was still a rebel all the way up until 12th grade. I mean, we would laugh in class. We would do all kinds of weird stuff. But Mr. Smith was always honing in on us to be professional. And it really didn't stick until my last year when we had to do our final projects. And I turned in all my projects. And the one project that he honed in on was the fact that I did a cartoon of me being mischievous behind his back. And his big quote was, get professional. Like whenever you were slacking, he would tell you to get professional, right? So I did a cartoon on that. And when I turned in my final art pieces for grades, he actually pulled me to the side when he was grading me. He said, you really have something here? And I like what's going on, but you're going to have to take charge of yourself and what I'm seeing, right? You got to, like, you're really rough, but technically he was telling me I was professional, but he didn't say it. So that kind of stuck with me, right? So the next thing I know, I was only about 4 weeks from graduation, and in the cafeteria, I saw my first Marine recruiter ever. I never thought about it.
Dun dun dun.
Going to see. I never even thought about going to see a recruiter, but I knew about the Marines, right? So, true story. Something propelled me to go forward, and I walked up to the table and I said, "What's it take to be a Marine?" And Sergeant Lee, I still remember his name. He goes, "Do you think you're tough?" And I said, "Of course I do." So he was like hook, line, and sinker, right? He's like, "I got one." So the next thing I know, I'm in his recruiting office, and he's like, "Well, what do you want to do?" And I had nothing. I had nobody. I went there by myself. I mean, I'm free flowing. And I said, "I want to be that guy on the wall." And it was a poster. And he said, "Well, that's infantry." And I said, "Wait, make me infantry, right?" And he's like, "They're the first to fight." And I said, "I guess I'm going to be the first to fight."
Hell yes.
And the next thing I know, I'm at Paris Island, going through the grinder. And then even while I'm at Paris Island, they figure out that I can draw. So I'm doing drill instructor covers and range flags and all kinds of stuff on top of the normal training. So that's kind of how I got into, the Marine Corps transition. And then part of my story is when I graduated, my family was late to graduation. They didn't even see me graduate. So I'm standing there underneath the sign that says, "We Make Marines." And there's a couple of things that went through my mind. I never had a foundation in my life. Nothing really to hold on to, right? But then I realized I'm standing on strongest foundation that could ever be created, right? It's got blood, mud, sand, guts. It's got
Right.
steel. It's got everything in it, right? It's got tradition. It's got everything. So it ain't gonna break. So now I have a foundation. And then I went from getting no respect in my little town to the respect of the entire world. Like, I'm a United States Marine, right? Wherever I go, people can try, but they won't try when they know you're a Marine,
Right.
right? So now I got that in my back pocket.
God, that's motivating as hell.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. So now I feel like, I got the Superman cape on, you know? And what really propelled me to pursue giving back was the fact that, like, I went 19 years struggling in the Marine Corps, and my wife gave me life and saved my life, right? So I'm standing there and I'm thinking, like, how do I give back? I didn't know at the time, but it would come during Desert Shield, Desert Storm, and that's when I was drawing on the mess decks. Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
That's awesome. So, how many years did you do in the Marine Corps?
Technically 21.
21. What year did you go in?
87.
87. And you got out in
Yeah, it was 2007, but I
yeah,
had like 10 months.
yeah.
I was on the USS Kearsarge when you got out of the Marine Corps, Gunny.
Oh yeah, 2007.
Yeah, I was on my third deployment, but I'm still a boot to you, so it's okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. No, mud's mud. I don't care.
Mud is mud.
Yeah, mud's mud. Let's do it.
Hey, Gunny, did you ever do any cruises?
You mean floats?
Yes.
Like a Mew.
Oh yeah. Well, we did 10 months Desert Shield, Desert Storm with 1st Battalion, 4th Marines. So
Yep.
that story is we were coming home for 6 months. After 6 months, they turned us around and sent us back, and we went to war for 4 months. Then with 2nd Battalion, 1st Marines, back to Camp Pendleton, another float. Yeah, always. I went to Horno twice. So those hills, I own those hills, and my calves are like coconuts to prove it.
Oh, the Reaper.
Oh yeah, all of it.
No, I've never done it. I went to CAX once. I'm not really a big fan of California. I like Camp Lejeune. Sorry.
Well, I did squad leader school there, man. I mean, the grass is sand, so no one can tell me that they have real grass. I'm tired of that.
Did you spend your whole time on the West Coast?
No, I jumped back and forth.
You went
So
back and forth.
yeah, I was Camp Pendleton twice with the infantry, and then with the infantry, I went to Quantico, and I was a enlisted instructor at TBS. So I got that's where a lot of the material came from, was
Whoa.
second lieutenants and taping warrant officers to trees during the wars and stuff like
Nice.
that. So yeah, it was a good mix, and then I moved into the graphic arts field.
Now, is the graphic arts part of the Marine Corps? Is that Comstrat, public affairs? What is that?
It is now. So combat camera, and public affairs merged about 3 years ago, and they became Comstrat.
Okay.
So back in the day when I moved, they were known as the Combat Visual Information Center, where you would it's the same thing. You will get photos and videos and all that. But really, when I was at TBS, the first time I ever even knew there was a graphic arts program, my captain, there was a big range flag at R15 at TBS, where it was actually a company in the defense, where the whole company actually has a live fire. I mean, it's like $1 million just to shoot these things off. We got Dragon rounds and rockets, and we have helos coming in. And
nice.
The families of the TBS students can actually come get in the bleachers and watch how a company in the D works. But prior to that, there was a huge flag on a canvas, or a layout of the land. And it was pretty degraded. So that's how my captain tasked me as the artist to go take this thing to Civic and direct how to get it repainted. So when I walked into that building, it just blew my mind. And I said, okay, I gave 9 years to the Marine Corps. Now I need to chase this rabbit down, because, this is, I just felt another pull to move forward.
I don't think we're recording yet, but when we first popped on, Andrew mentioned that you were a SWO Marine. Can you explain to us what the SWO Marine is?
What, me?
Either one of you.
Yeah, what do you?
Oh, well,
So,
service warfare.
Yeah.
Isn't that what? I mean, you're Navy. I mean, that's what you guys get, yeoman.
Yeah, correct. But I was just
Yeoman,
wanted
sir.
to explain to the audience.
no, I mean, you mean like with a surface warfare ribbon, or?
Yeah, what did you do with that? Well, like, were you on a were you stationed on a ship for the? Was it the 10 months you were on ship?
Well, I mean, if you're talking about, I was on the USS Blue Ridge for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
As a security back then.
Yeah.
Part of Marine security forces was to protect all the admirals in the Navy. So
Yankee White.
Yeah, you would have a.
Hey, hush.
Yeah, so you would have a.
Sorry.
You would have Marine detachments on ships. If they were nuclear, you'd have a detachment there.
Correct.
So yeah, we used to. Part of our job was to man the 3-inch 50s. When we went to general quarters and all kinds of things like that. So it was pretty
General
deep.
quarters.
Oh yeah, it was deep, especially in a gas mask. It was crazy.
Yeah, I was on a nuclear ship, and there's probably about 80 Marines. I was on an aircraft carrier.
What ship were you on, Commander?
The USS Carl Vinson.
Oh, there you go, sick. Yeah, the Midway was right next to us in Japan.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, we shared a pair with the Enterprise back then, and now she is retired. So in Alameda, California.
And I was on the Kearsarge, LHD-3. So I guess all three of us are shellbacks, correct?
Oh heck yeah! You kidding me?
Yes,
still
I
got
am.
my welts.
Shellbacks.
Still got my welts.
Still got my welts, baby.
Eat it, pollywogs. Eat it.
Yeah. I was looking forward to that day, and then when the morning of, it got pretty rough, and it gradually got rougher. But man, once it was all over with, man, it was like, hell yes.
Yeah, right. Give me my certificate that looks like Van Gogh painted it. I mean, it was sick, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But my knees are still hurting. My knees are still hurting from that day.
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah, I think they went soft on them now. I don't think they do that all that now.
Oh no, they did, Commander. They're soft on the newer generation. So
yeah, I think that they're a little soft these days.
Well, we'll see. Satellites don't see that
hey,
stuff anymore.
All these Marines at boot camp are now getting ACOGs. I mean, what's up with that?
I don't know. Are they making them do iron sights or what?
No, not at all. And no loop sling. That's what I heard that, and I saw that when I was at Paris Island. Everybody gets an ACOG now. I mean, come on, man. They're taking the fun out of shooting.
Oh, of course. Yeah, they just don't know. That thing falls off, they're done. Just give them. Just throw some rocks, baby.
They don't know what they don't know. That's right.
That might be a SemperToon. Like if a Marine loses his ACOG, he's had training in throwing rocks.
Dude, we got an idea for a comic. Awesome.
There you go. See?
Yeah. So before we move on to SemperToons, Andrew, explain what an ACOG is.
ACOG is it's kind of like it's a sight that you put on the top of your rifle, and it costs about $1,000. It's a Trigicon. It's got little arrows in there, and they last forever because they're like uranium or something, and they help you. They help you meet the target with impunity. It's awesome.
Nice.
I love my ACOG.
Yep, there you go, baby.
You love your ACOG, but you don't want the boots to have one?
No, they need to learn with the loop sling, and they need to learn on iron sights. It's a rite of passage. I'm sorry. I'm going to say that right now. It's a rite of passage.
Yep. Yeah, I hear you.
Yep.
So the other day, one of the guys I work with, he's actually in Michigan. I'm in Tennessee, but he sent me a Teams message, and he's like, "Hey man, I've been listening to your podcast, but you got to do me a favor. You have to break down these acronyms, man, for us civilians. So if I stop and ask you a question, that's why I'm asking."
Oh, wait. I have no idea what ACOG actually stands for. I just know what it is.
Yeah, well, I don't know what it is because I was in the Navy. I never saw
one.
Well,
you guys practice on M9s and shotguns, right?
You know what? So funny story. Um, I was in boot camp I started January 20th, 1985. And the day that we were supposed to go to the range, it was a hellacious snowstorm. So we got orders to lock down in our barracks. So I never got to shoot.
Oh,
I never touched a gun the whole time I was in the Navy.
that's too bad, man. That's
I
too bad.
know. Yeah, but on the positive side, that whole week it was a whiteout, man. It was a crazy snowstorm. But that same week was the gas chamber, so I missed out on the gas chamber too.
Oh.
Gas, gas,
Yeah,
gas.
dude, man. You know what? You're all good. I mean, anybody that can not go to the gas chamber, I applaud you, man. That's awesome.
I missed the gas
I've been
chamber, man.
twice. No, 3 times. 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did go to a couple cool schools after I was in the fleet. I went to shipboard firefighting in Treasure Island, California. That was literally the best school I ever went to. It was so awesome. And then another school I went to was damage control, where they literally put you in it's on a mock ship, right? So you're in a compartment with watertight hatches, and they lock you in there,
Yep, I
and
did it.
they just start pumping water, and they're like
That's right.
50 zillion gallons of water a minute,
Yep.
man, and like you have to patch it, or else the water's coming up to here, and like
Yep.
finally they'll cut it off and drain it, and everybody's like choking.
Yeah, no, I did a sea school in San Diego. Before
Right.
I had to complete that before I went to sea duty.
Oh,
And we did all
yeah,
that
yeah, right.
firefighting. We did all the damage control.
Yeah.
We did the pipe where you had to seal the pipe and sit under it.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Yep.
We did the Helo Dunker in Norfolk, and that was terrible. I hated that. Hated it.
It sounds like fun.
No, not at all.
No,
And then they
upside down. Oh yeah.
have you done that, Gunny Wolf? Did you have to do the Helo Dunker?
No, I know about it, but I did the sea school thing, and I stay away from the Helo Dunker.
Oh man, oof. No, never again. I love Norfolk, but never again. I'll go to visit, but that's it.
Yeah, Norfolk's pretty fun. The beach,
Great PX,
Austin Beach.
amazing PX. Dude, that PX has 3 stories, an elevator, and a couple escalators. It was intense.
Yep.
My wife was like, "Holy moly, this is their PX." I'm like, "Yeah, I guess so."
We need to get Chief Ortiz on and let him talk about the PX.
We do, yeah, because he probably spent half his days in the PX. Just kidding, Chief Ortiz.
One of my shipmates that I served with, he ended up retiring. We were on the West Coast together in Alameda, and when he retired out of Norfolk. He retired chief. So every once in a while, we bring him on the show.
Yeah, sick. That's good, man. Keep it rolling, especially if you got a link to the PX and get some discounts and all kinds of good stuff.
Right. Yeah, we were just in. My wife and I went to Virginia Beach in Norfolk this past summer, and he took us around the base and showed us where the SEALs hang out, and saw the new carrier, the Ford. That was pretty dope.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty
Is
cool.
that-
The next day,
Is that sorry, go ahead.
the next day, my wife and I were sitting. We're in our hotel room. We stayed right on the beach, and we had a balcony, and the balcony, and then the beach is right there, like really right in front of us. You could see King Neptune. The statue was right underneath us.
Oh man.
And I was sitting out there. I get up. Actually, I was with another shipmate of mine. Him and his wife met us out there, John Foster, and he was obviously he was in a different room. So he calls me up. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just sitting here drinking coffee, waiting for my wife to get out of the shower." He's like, "Hurry up, go to the balcony." I was like, "Oh shit!" So I go to the balcony, and the USS Ford was steaming by. I was like, "Hell yes!"
Oh man, that's nice.
It was
Hey,
so
Commander,
cool.
what kind of class is that new ship? That's America's class, right?
No, it's a Ford class.
It's a Ford class. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, because I saw on Facebook there is an America's class of carrier coming out, right?
I'm not aware. The Ford class, the Gerald Ford, they always, whenever there's a new class, they typically just name it whatever that ship's name is.
Oh, okay.
So this is the Ford, USS Ford. So the class is the Ford. But
What about I just saw a post on the Texas, USS Texas.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
Is that a American?
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, so
I'll have to look it up.
Yep.
I do know they have in the works the next one. I I don't know if they laid the keel or not yet, but it's the very next one that they're gonna start building. You know, it takes like 20 years to build these suckers, man.
Oh
But
yeah.
it's they're finally building one off, and the namesake is an enlisted man. First time ever enlisted man's ever been on a carrier, and
Nice.
it's a black enlisted man. So
Yep.
Oh
finally,
yeah,
black
that's
people are
right.
yeah, they're getting their recognition, and an enlisted guy is getting a carrier. That is so badass.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Doris Miller, he Medal of Honor recipient from Pearl Harbor. And
Yep.
back then, it's crazy. So back then, we like to do little side stories while we're talking.
Yeah, let's roll.
So back then, uh, black military members weren't allowed to fight. So he was a cook. So he's down in the mess deck cooking, and then the Japanese started bombing Pearl Harbor. And, you know, so his ship was getting ship beat out of him. I don't remember what ship he was on. I don't know if he was on the Arizona or what, but he runs up and man, there's just casualties everywhere. So he just hops in on a gun and just starts blasting freaking Japanese.
Cuba Gooding Jr. played him in the movie.
I think yes,
Yeah.
yep,
Yeah.
that guy, yep. So it could have went one of two ways. He could have got the Medal of Honor for bravery, or they could thrown him in the brig for hopping on a weapon, which is. You think about that today, like,
Yep.
that is insane, man. Just because the color of your skin, you can't
Yep.
fight? That's ridiculous, man. And that was, like, not that long ago, really.
No. No,
It's
that's like a
insane.
blink. That's a blink, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, man. So I'm super happy for his family, man. That's
Yeah.
great. So, SemperToons, man, how did SemperToons start while you were in the Marine Corps? How did this start out?
Yeah, so
And actually, Gunny, what is SemperToons?
all right.
Here, let me show you.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, look at you, man! Look at you, Commander Fleek. You're so tech savvy.
Yeah, can
Man,
you
this
guys see?
is, you know, you're gonna make me blush.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, these are pretty dope, man. So, for people that are listening to us, head on over to SemperToons and support Gunny Wolf, man. He does some amazing work.
Yeah, so SemperToons.com. You can go into the gallery, enjoy yourself. You can subscribe to Friday Morale and Monday Morale.
I did.
Yep. So
I did.
You know, we put that out there just so you have a laugh to end your week and start your week, which everyone needs. And
Yes.
back to SemperToons. So we're in Desert Shield, Desert Storm. We were on our way home after 6 months. Flowers, banners, everything's ready. Wives, kids, families. You know, we're all coming home, right?
Yay!
So we get the call in the Philippines to turn around and go back. So, you know, we were going back for war and we knew it. So morale kind of like shunk.
Yep.
You know, I mean, it's the initial reaction to everything. So, you know, of course, as Marines, we accept it. We're ready to go. We're getting in the mindset of just, you know, this is it, right? We're going to rip heads off and we're just going to pray we make it home. That's all it was. So we're out there waiting for the word to actually go to war. And like I said, for 4 months, we were doing donuts, waiting for that, you know, the build up and all this other stuff. So I always went down to the mess decks because now there's more stress on me. We're trying to do training on the ship and all that, but the fact is, you know, we're writing letters to our families and we don't know if we're going to come home. So the stress on the ship is like a pressure cooker. It's like a big pot, right? So I'm doing my thing like I did my whole life, and I'm drawing cartoons. And one of my friends and I start talking about like Marine Corps training, and really the first cartoon that really became legit as a SemperToon, but it wasn't called that then, was me and my friend were talking about how in training, no Marine dies, right? So no matter what you do, what you say, bang, 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 you got blanks, all this other stuff. So no one dies, right? You keep running. Hey, I got you. No, I got you. So I did 2 walls with 2 Marines on either side. And that's all they're saying. They're covered in blanks, training grenades, all this other stuff. And one is saying, I got you. No, I got you first. No, you're dead. You're dead, right? So my friend lit up like a light bulb, and I just saw all the stress go away. And it was in that instant that I knew, like, man, this is like a key. There's something going on here. So next thing I know, I'm drawing more on the mess decks, and I'm drawing cartoons about just scenarios that I've been through, right? And this isn't even including the stories my friends have. So I start putting two together, and another friend, of course, everybody in life needs a push from someone else to go forward, right? You can't do that by yourself, uh, all the time, or you'll burn out. So one of my friends says, "Why don't you take your cartoons up to the ship's admin and see if they will post them, or run them in the newsletter or whatever?" And I was like, "Nah, I don't think they'll do that." So I'm doubting myself, and my friend's like, "No, man, you got to go up there." So I go up to the admin office on ship, and I knock on the door, and I ask to talk to, I guess, the editor. I forgot what I called it, but there was a chief in there, and she walked up and she said, I showed her the cartoons, and I said, "Would you like to post these?" I don't know how, but I draw them on ship, and I'm not doing anything with them. They're just kind of like in my birthing. And she's like, "Sure, we'll do one a week on the door. We're going to put it on the door. So everybody can just, even if we're closed, they can walk by and see it." So now I'm published. I'm like, woohoo! I don't So I go find my friend, and I'm like, "Dude, they're going to publish me. I'm going to be hanging on a door on ship, and it's going to be badass, right?" So during the 4 months, we have to get the vehicles and everything, and the well decks are getting all salty from all the water and things. So we have to do training in Oman, right? So we actually get off the ship, we take everything we have to Oman, we do training, and we come back to the ship. And I'm in the berthing, and the chief actually comes down to the berthing, and she says, "You got to get a SemperToon, or you got to get a cartoon on the door right now." And I was like, "What's up?" She goes, "Everybody's going ape shit. Like, where's the new cartoon?" And I was like, "Okay, well now I'm starting to get more synergy." So fast forward to I leave 1-4, and I'm an instructor at TBS. And while I'm at TBS, I'm drawing on everything. I'm making training aids. I'm drawing on Quonset hut roofs. I mean, I have pictures of that stuff. And another friend says, "You should take these to the Quantico Century, the base newspaper." And I said, "No, man, they're not going to publish them. They're a newspaper, right?" So I'm like, "No, you got to go. You got to go." So I go to the Quantico Century. I ask for the editor. I have a folder of I think it was like 4 or 5 cartoons that, I had. And he's like, "Sure." He's like, "These are awesome. Can you do one a week?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm doing 17-hour days at TBS and all this other stuff. And like every other Marine, I know I can't do it, but I'm like, sure, I got you." Right? So at the time, he says, "What do you want to call it?" And I said, "Sergeant Wolf," because I was an instructor at TBS, right? So fast forward, uh, I start understanding what's going on with publishing. So um, it starts clicking with me that things can really happen with the cartoons, and now I'm making a whole base laugh. So it was, I mean, the first time I ever was published in a newspaper, I opened the paper like this. Seriously, I remember going like this. Wait, let me see if I was like this. Like, I couldn't believe that my cartoon was actually in the newspaper. Um, so I was excited. My wife was excited. And now I figured that if I could make one base laugh, I could make every base laugh, right? So I get orders to 2-1, and now I'm in the infantry. But while I'm at Camp Pendleton, I spend every waking hour contacting every magazine and every newspaper in the Marine Corps. But back then there was no internet, and I had no pigeons, right? So I'm like, during lunch, I'm going to the phone booths with quarters in my pockets, and I'm spending real money to call all these bases. So eventually, my wife and I have we have a filing cabinet with a folder for every base in the Marine Corps, and every folder is full of cartoons that we would mail like every 2 weeks. So now I'm kind of like syndicated, but it was like, it sounds crazy, but we actually did it.
Wow.
Yeah. So during this time in 2-1, you got to remember, when I was at TBS in the Quantico Century, I saw that there was a graphic arts program. So at the same time, my goal was to get into the graphic arts program. So I had to submit the lap move package, right? So I had to use the career planner when I went to 2-1, and I'm in the infantry. So I'm doing infantry. We're working up to doing a float, and then we go on float. And this whole time, I'm trying to get into the graphic arts program with a lat move. And at the time, I was a dragon gunner, and the dragon gunners were being replaced by the Predator, the rocket. So really quick, the dragon has a huge back blast. You couldn't fire it indoors. So the Predator came out where it had a primary where you could fire it indoors, and then the secondary made it take off to kill stuff. So I was at the end of my rope in the Marine Corps. I either got my lat move or I was going to get out. So ultimately, I did a float with 2-1, and I came back, and we were doing workups for our second float. And my lat move package got approved. So from there, I went back to Quantico. Right? So now I went back to Quantico, and I was going to OJT with the graphic arts program and the Civic on Quantico. So when I went back to Quantico, I went to the Quantico Sentry, and the editor was different. But this time I had been doing all these bases everywhere. And I walked in with the cartoons, and I said, I'm here to see if you want to run cartoons. And he goes, yeah, we've been kind of waiting for you because the last editor told us, if you ever showed up, we got to keep running you. So that was pretty cool, right?
Hell yeah.
But at the moment, that's when everything kind of changed, because he's the one that said, what do you want to call it? And I said, SemperToons. And it just came out. There was no thinking about it. There was no nothing.
Yeah.
And from there, that's it.
Yeah, and look at you. You're on the front cover of the Marine Corps League magazine. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm all about anything to bring recognition to. Selfless leads to self. So if I can, even the VFW, I get the magazine now. I read it. I'm all about I'll put cartoons in that magazine for you guys. You can do articles, whatever it takes to motivate. Here I am.
Yeah, it's outstanding, man. Outstanding. 5050 Procon right there.
Oh yeah, dude. Thank you.
I have a question. So how does the scuttlebutt work its way into an episode?
Oh boy, here we go.
Well, all we got to do is chew the fat a little bit, and I will just I'll figure it out. I'll let my magic do its thing, and
hell yeah,
we'll have fun with it.
Right on. Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. I love your work. I was trying to get caught up on who Gunny Wolf is the other day, and the one that I really fell in love with is the dude sitting in the chair, like the old Maxwell commercial.
Oh yeah.
I love that one, man. It's dope.
Right? There's no words. Those are the best. When there's no words.
Yeah.
And you let anyone looking at it fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm all over the map. I mean, one of my big influences was Gary Larson. One panel, but he always twisted reality. So that's why I can make canteens with legs walking away and have Marines getting in trouble while they lost their gear. I mean, I have turtles in bed with other helmets, with helmets, right? Because, the turtle, wanted to be thought the helmet was another turtle. So, yeah, I mean, I just twist reality all to death, but, it all comes together to make a laugh.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I think you've gotten picked up by Reverend Warriors too, right, Gunny?
Yeah, I'm a big supporter of them. Oh, yeah, dude, I did 2 hikes. I'm looking forward to doing more.
Well, we got 5 in Tennessee if you want to come over, man.
I know. That's logistically, I am trying to plan it all out.
Where you located at?
Virginia.
Oh, Virginia.
Yep.
We got one in Michigan. That's coming up. I mean, we got the IW's got like 90 hikes all over the country, and I was fortunate to work for IW for about 3 years. But I took a little hiatus to concentrate on being VFW state chaplain. But IW is where I started, and I got my swing of things and helping veterans. And Nate and Cindy, if you're watching this, I love you guys.
Yeah, dude.
This guy right here is awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, and this guy over here is awesome too.
I try to. No, I'm just branching out now. I mean, that's a whole nother part of my life. Is like, I've been in my bunker for now, I say 28 years, and I've always had my head down, but I've never asked for anything in return, and I still don't, because that's part of when I was standing there in Paris Island. So that's what I figured out. I'm giving back to anyone that I can help with their life, because the Marine Corps and everyone around me helped me with my life.
Right.
Well, you'll be happy to know that whenever a new cartoon comes out, I put it on our VFW
Yeah.
Tennessee membership page.
I appreciate that.
And I'm hoping it's going to get some real feedback. I've only done it a couple times, but keep them coming, and I'll start spreading them to all my pages.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hey, $17.75 is a good price for humor and laughter.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I just signed up for your, I think a newsletter.
Yeah, the Friday Morale.
Yeah. I just signed up yesterday, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Is he going to get one of those special treats that I got, Gunny?
Well, that's for the mail call program.
Okay.
Yeah, so the mail, all of this is culminated into a really nice, it's a gesture from me, especially when I was in boot camp, up and down, families everywhere, and you don't know who's in boot camp and what they're going through. So ultimately, what SemperToons has done is we've created a mail call program, and what you can do is if you go to SemperToons.com, you'll see a little button in the right-hand corner that says donate. And when you click on the donate button, that will allow you to subscribe for $17.75 a month. And what that does is,
oh, look at that.
Yeah, sick. Yeah, so
Nice, Commander. Way to go.
Yeah, what this does is your $17.75 a month will provide a recruit's family with 10 postcards a month.
That's awesome.
Free to them.
Nice.
Right? So they can, once they get signed up, they can go into the program. They can create the postcards with their own family photos. They can use SemperToons, and on the back, they can write their own personal messages. And they're delivered 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So the goal is to get 66,000 recruits mail every week so that no recruit is left behind. Because when you're in boot camp and you're going through training and it's mail call, there's a big difference between getting no mail and getting mail, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
So that's my goal. We need to just make sure that everybody has that momentum, even if they don't have anybody.
Yeah. I remember them days well.
Yeah, I think we all do.
Yeah.
I started getting mail, I think, in the second month, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. It was a long time ago.
Yep. So, I mean, it's just interesting. And at the same time, we're trying to make it possible. Well, if the family stays signed up, I mean, once a recruit graduates, I mean, they're still there. So even the recruit can go in and make their own postcards. Like now they're Marines, or we're going to branch into, the Navy and the Air Force and all that, but it's synergy. Now you can go in and make a postcard and send it back to your family while you're active duty.
Oh, that's so cool, man. That's so cool.
Yeah. So it never stops. Yeah. It'll never stop as long as the subscription is there. The credits are there for the family. So yeah, why not?
Yeah, that's awesome. So where do you get your ideas for stories when you do that? When you sit down and write something out?
I call them lightning bolts. This is part of God's purpose. I mean, he just sends me ideas. I mean, I can be reading a story or just talking to Marines, or there was one instance where I guess it was around 4 weeks ago. I went into work, right? And my computer wouldn't work. And I couldn't connect to the internet or email or nothing. I was freaking out, right? So I'm getting ready to call the help desk for G6 and all this other stuff. And come to find out, my internet cord wasn't plugged in. Right. So right there, I was like, okay, let me write that one down. And then I did a cartoon on myself. Right. And then the feedback from everybody was, yeah, this happens to me all the time. Right. But I had my character freaking out. Like, he's like, I've been hacked. They're going to get into my bank account. Like, everybody goes this way. Right.
Yeah.
So that was the humor behind it. But, it doesn't take much. Just like with the Bulldog and the President's Day.
Yeah.
I try to bring the animals in, and that's why I thought about, like, I was looking at pictures of Mount Rushmore, and I started thinking, like, it's rock and stone and dirt, and I'm like, hey man, a bulldog can do that, so that's what he's digging it up and making it.
So, do you ever do like current events or politics, or you try to stay away from that stuff?
Yeah, I haven't really, I stay away from like anything that can be controversial.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go deep, but that's the one thing about um it's always been within me. When I think about God's purpose, is the fact that SemperToons has always been the high road because it's based on the family. SemperToons was created for the Marines during Desert Shield, Desert Storm to connect with their families because they would mail them home and be able to tell their families what was going on without the hard edge. So the high road for me is like when I do a SemperToon, I want a father or mother to be able to show their little children, 2 to 3 years old, this is what mommy and daddy do. And then I want grandma and grandpa also to be able to tell the same story. So it just, there's no room for me for the other stuff.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah, I get you. Like we try to stay away from politics and current affairs on this show too, man. It's just
Yeah.
there's enough of that over on Facebook, man.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I mean, and
All day, every day.
Yeah, yeah, and most of it's for a reaction. You know what I'm saying? So, what reaction do you want? You want someone that's pissed and just blowing off steam, or you want to laugh? So, I'm all about the laugh.
Yeah. I want laughs.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep, that's awesome, man. Well, we love what you're doing, and we don't have very many views on video yet because the video side of this just started, but the audio version of this will go out probably in 2 weeks. We post every other Monday, so it probably won't be this Monday, but it'll be in 2 weeks and Monday. But when I do, I'll make sure that your links are in there so our listeners can definitely find you. I think it's a great cause.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and yes, all the donations are tax deductible. So you're $17.75. Yeah. You don't pay taxes on that. It goes through our Romans 1015.org is where the donations go through.
Brian Romans?
Yeah, Romans 1015.
Romans.
Is that
Bible?
Oh, Romans. I thought because I know. Do you know Brian Romans? That's his name, right?
Romans, Brian Romans Warrior Foundation, but I think Gunny Wolf was talking about Romans chapter 10, verse 15.
Okay.
Yeah. How beautiful are the feet of those who.
Yep.
Okay.
Amen, baby. Amen.
Yeah. So my feet are delivering as much happiness as possible.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Before I started this podcast, 4th of July weekend, actually. So Marines always had this persona about them, big dumb guys eating crayons, just killing shit. But since we've done this, man, we've had artists like people that like tour the country, sing. Like we've had a lot of singers like Marines that sing.
Yeah.
Now different type of artists. You guys are like another one. One of the smartest dudes I ever talked to, Greg Pease.
Oh yeah.
You sit down and talk to him, and you're just like, are you sure you're a Marine? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, dude.
You guys are like breaking all these molds,
Yeah, Greg does a lot of NLP, neuralistic programming, and he's a realtor, but he's also he's like a coach. And we had him on, and like me and Fleek were like, what is this guy talking about? It's like,
yeah.
Like
that guy was like way up here, man.
He's like way up here. and I was a classical studies major, and it's still up here. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm just like, what the hell's going on right now? All these freaking Marines that are actually smart. What the hell?
Yeah, I know. We're somewhat smart, right?
My whole world turned upside down.
It's the greatest cover ever. Because, like I said, dude, I'm a gunny first. So there's two gunnies. I can chew your ass off, or I can make you laugh your ass off. So I have the power to do that, right? And that's what Marines do. So we got this great front. We're Marines. You don't think we're all that, but yes, we are smart. We can do things. You know, we use it to our advantage. But if you call us out, then you're going to get the Marine.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
so
for
that's
sure.
that's the best part ever.
Yeah.
And that laughter, I mean, that's why IW is a good fit for you, man, because IW, that's, we bring veterans together using humor and camaraderie, and you do that. You bring humor and camaraderie
Yeah.
to whatever you do, which that is the mission statement of Irreverent Warriors.
Yep, yep. I couldn't be more blessed when I got involved with them. And I'm not sure if you know, for every hike I do, I make my own flag. I have a SemperToons
I've seen
flag.
it, and I want one. I want you to bring one to Nashville. I know Zach
Yeah,
Jenkins would be very, very pleased to have one of those. Or
yeah,
Bobby Smith Taylor, Chattanooga, Brad Bell in Memphis. What's her name? Clarksville, and then Candy Bobick in Knoxville. So yeah, all those guys would love that flag. I can
yeah.
tell you right now.
So yeah, a little backstory on that is, you know, I get the flag and I create it. I put crayons all over it and I write inspirational messages. I design it myself, and then I sign it myself, and it's a SemperToons flag. So I can send you pics if you want to see it.
Yeah,
But when I get
I've seen it
yeah,
in your
so,
silkies and everything. By the way, I'm wearing silkies right now, Gunny, just for this interview.
all
That doesn't
right.
surprise me.
Yeah. Well, good on you, dude.
Hey, I got to get ready for the. We have a VFW meeting in probably about an hour and a half, and so I just took a shower and I threw on my new IW orange and navy silkies. I'm getting ready. April 23rd is the Chattanooga hike. I'm getting ready.
No, nice, man. So yeah, when I take the flag to the hike, I have all the hikers, as many as I can, to get to sign it because we're a family,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So once you sign that flag, you're in. Like, you are now obligated to boost morale because you're on this flag. And then at the end of the hike, I raffle it off. So
Oh,
then
how
the hiker,
awesome.
the hiker that wins it, even if I'm not there, the SemperToons flag will keep flying.
That's awesome. See, we did when I did my hike in Nashville. We signed a flag, but it wasn't a SemperToons flag. But you know, I mean, we still did the signing thing. But I like that SemperToons flag. It's awesome. It really is.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But you know, once again, I'm just the vehicle. I'm in God's purpose.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
if you've never met
he's the
anybody
one
with
driving
purpose,
the boat, man. He's the one driving the car.
yeah, here I am.
We're just passengers.
That's right. That's right. So I'm excited to see what he has for me next. But you know, I'm gonna keep hanging out in the back seat, just drawing.
Well, God bless you, Gunny Wolf.
Well,
Yeah,
God bless you too.
badass.
Thank you both.
Yes. How do you even make a flag? You just like,
Well, I have it made.
so you draw it out and then you send in the photo?
Yeah. So yeah, they send me the flag, and then
Yeah.
I take it from there.
That is cool as hell.
Yeah,
I
it's
love that.
Gettysburg's flags.com. They're the ones that provide us with the
Oh yeah. They do make good flags.
Yeah, it's badass. It's swivel and everything. So, you know, the wind can't even touch it. I can break the wind with my flag, so I'm good.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on, and thank you for your service.
Me too, Gunny.
Yeah, same to you, both of you. Thank you for the blessing.
Yeah, and if you ever need anything, give us a holler.
Yeah, please.
Yep, I sure will. And let me know. VFW wide, I'm ready to roll.
Yes, sir. Well,
yeah.
I'll talk to him. You know, I got to talk to state commander, and then I don't know if you've emailed Lynn yet, but you need to email him ASAP.
Oh, I will. I mean, when I get those shots over the bow, it's kind of intimidating, so it takes me time to come around.
I know.
I will.
He's Army, but he loves. He thinks what you like. I've sent him some stuff. He loves what you're doing. You just need to talk to him about that, because I think it would be really cool in the VFW magazine.
No, I'm ready.
Oh, that'd be
I
awesome.
promise you, I will. Before the weekend, I'm going to contact him.
Okay, good to go.
Yep.
All right, man. So we'll sign off here. Don't forget.
I got you real quick. I'm going to send you guys your own custom Semper.
Yeah! Oh my God! Yes! That's awesome.
Yeah, they're going to be all original. So you'll
Hell
have
yeah,
original.
that's dope.
Right?
I'm gonna frame that shit. And put it.
Oh, dude, we're gonna put that in our VFW, man.
Yeah, well, I got
That ain't going in the VFW. That's going in my man cave, bro. Come on.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, mine's going to go in the VFW.
Listen, make a copy of it and then just put the copy in the VFW.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. A good idea.
Hey,
Yeah,
so real quick, check out our both of our links, SemperToons.com. Support this man. He's doing some great work. Support TSP. We surely could use it. And did you have anything else to say, Gunny, before we sign off?
No, I'm just very appreciative of anything that comes across the wire. Right, we're all in this together.
Yes,
and
one
just
team, one fight.
That's it. That's
One
it.
team, one fight.
Yep.
Yeah, our
Mud. I'm ready.
yes, our moniker here at TSP is saving souls one episode at a time, man.
That's right.
I know. It's beautiful, yeah. And if I need to draw with a burnt stick on a piece of cardboard, I'll do it.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening to TSP, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Gunny. Thanks, Commander. See you guys. Hoorah.